Namaste. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be across the planet, around the world. I'm Gregg from In5D.com, and my other half will be here for the Rumble version. She's getting all dolled up and pretty and doing her hair and her makeup. So right now it's just me. We will be going live on Rumble, live and uncensored at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, 1 a.m. UK. And so that's approximately about 20 minutes from now. I was live yesterday on Rumble, and I did a show that lasted about an hour and a half, covering a bunch of material I've been uploading to my Rumble channel. So there's going to be lots of stuff that we'll be talking about. Allie and I will be talking about. But for now, there's some interesting things that are going on, and I'm going to play a couple of them right now. So, and I'm sure we can expand on some of these in our upcoming show. And, well, some of the stuff I can't get to because, it's YouTube and Facebook, and I can't talk about it or probably even publish the content on it. But anyway, without any further ado, let's get into some of this stuff because I don't have a lot of time here on YouTube and Facebook. Like I said, we're going to be starting our show in about 20 minutes. First thing I'm going to cover is Tucker Carlson said that over 100 servicemen were killed by UFOs. Let's take a listen.
Hey, so check it out. This is a emergency sleeping bag. These things normally cost $30, and during the winter,
100 servicemen killed by UFOs. This summer, we got a call. We didn't reach out. This person called us. Gets this call from this guy who's a tenured Stanford medical school professor, and he wants to come on the show. So, he's not a flake. He comes on, and he's like, 11 years ago, the U.S. government reached out to me because I'm an expert on head injuries, on brain injuries, traumatic brain injuries, as a physician, and they had all these court cases from families of U.S. servicemen, over 100, who'd been killed by UFOs. And there are court cases about it. But he goes, I'm involved in it. I'm one of the researchers. I'm the expert witness in these cases. Holy shit, what does that mean? And he's like, UFOs appear to be attracted for whatever reason to nuclear energy. So at nuclear missile bases in the upper Midwest, for example.
Now, if you guys remember the disclosure project that Stephen Greer had about 20 years ago or so, there were a number of military officials saying that the UFOs came and disabled all the nuclear weapons. So, my question is, did they try to fire upon these UFOs who are only trying to protect us and save humanity? Let's continue.
Nuclear-powered aircraft carriers, nuclear-powered submarines are all getting buzzed by these objects, including underwater. And in a number of cases, these things have landed on military bases, including famously in Germany, in West Germany in the 70s. And servicemen have approached them. What is this thing? There's this giant glowing thing on the base. And they approach and they get traumatic brain injury. They are rendered. They get brain damage or they're killed. This is all totally real. This is the Department of Defense, dude. And they've all had this damage from some kind of powerful energy that we cannot identify. And it turns out that actually.
See, what I'm thinking is that the reason they got the brain damage is that, the military were the aggressors, not the UFOs, our galactic neighbors and friends. I don't see them as being the aggressors in this situation. They even mention Tucker mentions how, some of these UFOs were shot down. So obviously our military has taken aggressive action against them. But, if they've traveled, light years to be here, our military expertise looks like a cap gun to them for the most part. It's ridiculous to even think we can compete with somebody from a higher intelligence that came from light years away.
Actually, yes, these things have been shot down and crashed, and the U.S. government has the wreckage, and it's being held by defense contractors, which are big independent companies, but that work for the U.S. government. They're really part of the Department of Defense, but they're separate, so their sunshine laws don't apply to them. You can't actually get information from them. It's a very tricky way to hide information.
Yeah, so pretty interesting stuff right there. What do you guys think? Do you think that the extraterrestrials were benevolent or malevolent? Benevolent being our friends and malevolent being evil. Could it be a combination of both? Pretty interesting, though. And check out the comments real quick. Hi to my sister, first in. Hi, Tara. And LZ from Atlanta, Georgia. Hi, Tammy. It'll be on at 8 p.m., our show, live and uncensored. 8 p.m. on Rumble. You're watching on Facebook, so the link should be above. And if you're watching on YouTube, the link for our show should be right below. Hopefully you can tune in at 8 p.m. Eastern. Hi, Tracy. My apologies for asking if you've been drinking enough water, Greg, but it was because I thought you said you had a headache, and I only get a headache when not drinking enough water. No, I drink plenty of water. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you for asking, though. Hi, Gemini Moon. Thank you for joining. Tracy is coming in from Ohio. Hi, Seeker. I get a backache when I don't drink enough water. Okay. Crazy thinking over 100 servicemen lost UFOs. Oh my God. Yeah. Well, that's why I'm putting it out there. I'm asking you guys, what do you guys think? Do you think that, the military were the aggressors and they were just, the UFOs were just protecting themselves or retaliating against being aggressively? I mean, but, you could look at it from another perspective, from the military's perspective. It was the UFOs that were being the aggressors for disabling their nuclear weapons. But, I've always been a proponent of, nuclear weapons only create nuclear waste. And what are you going to do with nuclear waste? And that's another reason why I don't agree with nuclear power, especially since, you have inventors like Stanley Meyer, who invented that car that could go from coast to coast on 22 gallons of water. It could be any kind of water, seawater, lake water, urine. You could piss in the gas tank and it'd do the same thing. You can use that same technology to power your homes, jet planes, anything. So, I mean, the use of, the gas and the petrodollar and all that shit, totally unnecessary. Totally unnecessary. Remember Dr. Greer talking about nukes dismembered. Yeah. And that's what they've been doing. So, yeah, I mean, who's in the right? Who's in the wrong? Hi, Tammy. I saw a military documentary 10 years ago covering UFOs deactivating nuclear missiles in silos. Yeah, that was the Disclosure Project with Stephen Greer. Tracy says it's probably both. Could be. But I agree. I think it's benevolent as well. Hi, Debbie. Thank you for joining. Hi, Janet on Facebook from Maryland. Countries have their own UFOs. I don't believe off-worlders hurt anyone. Yeah, I think they're benevolent. So, yeah. Janet says that I saw a UFO and people were inside it. My 10-year-old was terrified. Oh, wow. I've seen a number of UFOs throughout my life, and it's been fascinating, starting when I was 17 years old. Oops, no, I was 18. We were having a keg party at a place called On Top of the World near Hartwood College. And there was like 7 of us there already. We had the keg. We were waiting for the tap. So we're just standing around the keg, shooting the shit with each other. And over Franklin Mountain, this adjacent mountain, comes 3 UFOs in formation, 1 in the front, 2 in the back. They come over the mountain, they hover, and then take right off. So, I mean, there were 7 of us that had seen it. And, I've seen a number of UFOs since then. So I'm very grateful and thankful that, they've shown themselves to me throughout my life. Carol says definitely the military. I think if they were threatened that they could be aggressive, probably, yeah. Piss in the gas tank, yeah. It would work. Hi, Linda. Thank you for joining. Germany, China, Russia, U.S. have aircraft the public hasn't seen yet. I believe it was frequencies that hurt the servicemen. Yeah, kind of like directed energy weapons, or that sound frequency that the military already has and has used. Yeah. Interesting topic, though. Yeah, we have that going on well, that's one of the Rumble channel things that I can talk about. Let's see what else we can talk about here on YouTube. Because, we got to cut back on what we can say. This is interesting. The Illuminati, they put it right in our faces. Here, this is from Walt Disney, and on the chalkboard here, it says, so, they're talking about the Illuminati here. And then on this Donald Duck episode, ask about Illuminati. You got the all-seeing eye here. And then within the Walt Disney name, you see the 666. So how about that? Yep. This is kind of funny. I posted this on my Facebook page. This is that iconic scene after World War II. And you got Sniffing Joe in the background. He was only 70 back then. So stuff I can say. This is interesting. It's a little longer, so I won't play it, but you can find this on the In5D Rumble channel. Meet Jonah Mendez, former CIA chief of disguise. This goes back many, many, many years, the chief of disguise. So, when we've been talking about people having masks, it's real, and it's been going on for a long time. So give that a listen. This is 3 medical schools in North Carolina are now diagnosing toddlers who play with stereotypically opposite gender toys as having gender dysphoria and are transitioning them. Toddlers. I had 2 older sisters. I don't remember playing with any of their dolls, but could you imagine, getting labeled as gender dysphoria and then getting transitioned because you're too young to even know what the fuck you're doing? Wow. Yeah. Oops, I better watch my language here. Here's an interesting video. P. Diddy's questionable 48 hours with 14-year-old Justin Bieber raises eyebrows. So, yeah, I'm not going to play these videos, but these are just some of the things that you'll find on the In5D Rumble channel, and there's a lot more, too. There's stuff I haven't even posted yet. This explains why Bud Light, this video explains why Bud Light endorsed Dylan Mulvaney, because there's a woke, it's called a CEI system that's pushing brands to endorse people like Dylan. They're handing out lucrative deals to what were once considered fringe celebrities because they have to, or risk failing an all-important social credit score. So the major corporations are already using that social credit score bullshit. Guess who's next, right? Or risk failing an all-important social credit score that could make or break their businesses. So that's why we're seeing like Jack Daniels pushing the trans agenda, Bud Light doing the same thing. A lot of companies that are doing that. But I don't see it as making or breaking businesses, honestly, because what we're seeing is that, other companies like Yingling, who is running ran some ad or something, I believe, against, or in the timing of the Dylan Mulvaney fiasco, and their sales skyrocketed. I posted this on Facebook. It's also here on Truth Social. This made me laugh. Oh! I love how his hands fly out afterwards, right? Then he knocks over the fake lunar module. I could watch this over and over again. It's funny. So yeah, there's lots going on in the world. There's a lot I can't tell you here. You're going to have to tune into the uncensored version on Rumble. If you're watching on YouTube, the link's up here. If you're watching on, if you're watching on Facebook, the link's up here. And if you're watching on YouTube, the link is below. Ellie will be joining me at 8 p.m. Eastern in about 7 minutes or so. So yeah, I'll probably, whatever we can't cover tonight, I'll probably come back on tomorrow and do a live Rumble again, and there's going to be more news to report on. So in order to keep everybody abreast of what's happening, look for more live uncensored Rumble videos coming up. I'm going to check out the chat real quick, and then we'll probably hop on over to Rumble. Hi, Olivia. Thank you for joining. My pleasure for taking the time. Yeah, definitely. I wish I could say more here on YouTube and Facebook, but I can't. That's why we're doing the show at 8 o'clock on Rumble. Hey, Janet. It's an old Monty Python movie, A Man That Wants to Be a Woman. It is good. Well, you know, if you look at all these, famous actors, many of them were basically forced into wearing female clothing. Dave Chappelle said no. He drew the line on that. He said, no effing way. I'm not going to do it. But he kind of like blew the whistle on that kind of shit that's going on in Hollywood. They're pushing that whole transgender crap for years. I mean, look at that Tom Hanks movie. Was it Tom Hanks? Bosom Buddies? Yeah, I think it was, where he and his roommate, Peter somebody or another, were, they had to pretend to be females to get like cheap housing. But anyway, I'm going to leave it off right there. I want to thank all you, everyone, for watching on this abbreviated version. Ellie will be joining me in about 5 minutes or so. I'll see you on Rumble. The link's up here on Facebook, down here on YouTube. See you there in about 5 minutes or so. Love you all. Take care.